Okay, so I haven't done a video in about a month, and anybody that actually watches these things, apologies, but I've been in the States, as you know, and and I'm sorry to make it a cooking video, and I'm also sorry that it's once again on the norcia, pasta norcia, with the sausage, but that's my go-to comfort food. I love it, and I'm going to make it. Tomorrow will be a more outdoors thing, I hope. So right now I'm testing this new microphone here and making the sausage. So let me pause this and switch to the ingredients. Okay, so the main ingredient, norcia sausage, and to that I'm going to do this in my style. I'm going to add diced onions, pretty finely diced, and the garlic at the same time with the sausage before I even turn on the heat. This has been working really well. It doesn't get the garlic or the onions overcooked. They just cook up nicely as the fat comes off the sausage. And I know everybody in the universe browns their yellow goldens makes their garlic golden and blah 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 with the onions and all that stuff first. But I find it to be a completely unnecessary pain in the butt. So. You know, the thermodynamics of it to me made a lot of sense to just, wait, I better get a proper utensil here. To me, it made a lot of sense to just do it like this, and I'm sorry for not dumping that more carefully. I usually start here with my garlic and onions in the middle, and I'm just mixing them all together this time. Several times when I made this, I kept the garlic separate and the onions separate so I could watch them while I was, getting the garlic brown. But there it is, ready to start now. So let's put on the heat. And, get that on medium heat here. Not gonna go too low. Come on, let's go. There we go. Down to medium there. And just give this a while to get that sausage cooking and the onions. Now I have various times add a little bit of olive oil to it here, because that doesn't hurt anything. And get that all cooking. So I'll cut back to this once the sausage is all cooked up. And you know, my pasta water is already boiling, and that's good. I'm turn it back a little bit here. Keep it warm, because this does not take long to make. Okay, real quick here, while we're starting to get this sizzling along here. The sausage, let's go over the whole thing fast. The sausage you cook with onions, which are optional and the subject of debate. I'll come back to that in a minute, and garlic. The other ingredients here are a little bit of white wine, which is optional also. Noce moscata, which is nutmeg, which is optional also. Panna di cucina, which is essential if you can get it. If not, you can make do with the heavy cream. And I'm going to thin that panna di cucina this time with a little bit of milk. That's my addition here. Normally you just dump this in. This stuff is thick as heck. You'll see it in a minute. And you just stir it in. But I'm gonna thin it with a little bit of milk and let that cook down a little bit just to let flavors mix around. So back to this sausage issue. Now I know most people can't get this particular sausage, norcia sausage, which is made here in the eastern part of Umbria in the Apennines, a little town called Norcia, but I do think this could be made pretty easily with something approaching a whole hog sausage, not too spiced up, and maybe just some pepper and garlic in that sausage, not too spiced up. And the norcia sausage, one of the things that makes it unique is that they make it with seasoned meats, aged sausages and so forth. They get chopped and ground into the sausage. This is a kind of a closely guarded secret how to do that. But you could probably make some kind of a clever substitution. Use like a whole hog sausage, and maybe, I don't know, you could probably just use like a seasoned ham or something like that, maybe. Maybe some Italian meats. But anyway, we're going to let this continue to cook down here, let our onions cook, and let our sausage cook in with it. Then we're going to deglaze the pan with the white wine. That's optional. Then we're going to dump in the panna cucina. Now, really to make this, the most basic way is just with the sausage and the garlic cooked together and the panna cucina. That's it. Then you put that on your pasta. It's a very, very simple sauce. Very tasty, but of course, you know, we've got to fool with it a little bit. And I'm using the combination of a couple people's opinions here. Now, this idea with the onions, one person was adamant, and this is a good cook arguing against another good cook in public, the public square up here, shouting at each other about how to make this dish. And I had to step in there and say, hey, they both sound pretty good to me. And also remember, guys, from the hottest fire comes the strongest steel. And they like that. And these things never come to blows or any kind of long-lasting hatred or anything like that. But it's just fun to watch this passion about how to do these different things. So this has got a little while to go here. And the reason I'm making it with the onions, which is not the traditional way, is because I like onions. Sauteed nice with a like this, they're really good. And that's the way. The first time I ever had this, it was a lunch at a friend's house. And he's a good cook, and his wife's even better. This is one of the primi course was the salsa norcia, or the pasta norcia. And she uses onions, and she argued in favor of it. Or she didn't actually argue, her husband argued on her behalf in a public square against the guy and said, no, that's not correct. It was funny as heck. But also very telling, I think, about the, having ways to direct your passions here. And they talk about the passionate Italians, but getting passionate about good food it's worth it. It's worth it. And like I said, from the hottest fire comes the strongest steel. You just have to respect that everybody has their taste. Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, things are cooking up fairly well here. I just put the flame down really low and stepped away from it for a while. And if you look at these onions, nothing's brown. There's no brown bits in there. Even the garlic over here that one's a little bit light. So maybe let's let this go a little bit longer. And I guess there is a little bit of something to say for cooking the garlic ahead of time, but I'm looking around here for pieces of it. There's one right there. Yeah, they're a little bit light yet. And the onions they're getting there. So it's all basically coming together here on time. So let's give us a little bit more time, then we're going to put in some white wine and glaze the pan a little bit here. And yeah, the sausage. See that piece right there? It's not quite cooked. So that still holds true here that these three ingredients, if cooked together, seem to come together at about the same rate. So take a pause here, let it cook some more. Okay, so I turned up the heat to medium heat here, and the sausage is starting to get a little bit of browning here and there. And I'm going to put in a little bit more olive oil here, just because I think that's going to help to transfer heat around a little bit better. I'm not getting as much fat off this sausage for the amount of onion. I used a whole onion and 4 pieces of sausage this time. And that's probably a little bit too much onion for the amount of fat that's being generated here. So, that olive oil and this sausage fat tend to go together pretty well. So, and the onions are getting clear. They're getting there. Some of my garlic bits are still a little bit white. Yeah, I didn't really cut him thin enough. But the onions I really dice well. Got a new onion chopping technique. And you can see the onion's nice and fine. The garlic, I just smashed it and sliced it up, and really, frankly, I didn't slice it as well as I should have. So there's that bite there of the sauce is going to have a little bit stronger garlicky taste than some of the rest. I'll mash him up a little bit there. These bits of garlic in here. Get them nice. But so far, the only thing I'm seeing that's got any brown to it at all is the sausage. And it's really, the aroma here is fantastic. It does not take long to cook. This is enough for 2 really good sized servings, 4 sausages. So let's let that cook a little bit more, and then we're going to get into our deglazing step here. Okay, we're ready for a little white wine here, and I'm going to pour it down the sides here to get some of these little bits off. Not use too much. What do I use there? I don't know, half a cup, possibly. And that's got to cook off. You're going to cook that alcohol off there. I do have a couple of brown onion bits around the edges here, but that, I think this is an optional step. John Marco does it this way. I really should start using names and maybe introduce you to these people one of these days. John Marco's a good Umbrian cook. And so is Sorrow's wife, Rosella, as is Sorrow. But they're not the only ones, but they're the ones that we're having this onion debate here. So that's going to cook down nice and reduce a little bit. I'm thinking that what's something going on here is that it's now adding water-based alcohol and a little bit of alcohol in the wine, mostly water. So it's not necessarily all about the wine flavor. It's about the ability for that solvent to allow different types of flavors to move around in here. So just gonna let that continue to cook just a little bit here. This doesn't take long. It's reducing already. It's going back from, as this alcohol boils off, it's going back from a momentarily water-based solvent to what it was, which was, you know, the oil and its fat, which is a higher boiling point and a different type of a compound. Now this is panna di cucina, right? You could use probably, instead of this, maybe some combination of sour cream and heavy cream. I don't know, but this sauce does come out like kind of nice and creamy. And it's getting ready, so I'm going to turn off the camera here just a minute and put my pasta in. Okay, so I'm about ready to put my pasta in. First time I had this, and the agreed upon pasta for this is penne pasta. But I saw today at the store this mezze penne rigate 42. This is a 27. It's a bigger pasta and short. So it's a half a penne pasta, a bit bigger. I think it's going to be good. I've got 250 grams here, which is half a package, which is enough for 2 good-sized servings here. So I'm going to, I should put my salt in first, but I grabbed the pasta. Let's get over here, and I should have had the salt already in here. It'll be fine. And get that boiling again. Okay. Okay, now let's let that come up to boil here. And over here our meat, our onions, our garlic are looking very good. I'm not seeing any, looking through here. What I'm looking for here is bits of garlic that didn't cook, because I keep testing this method. I think it's a good method. Just putting everything in raw together. And doggone if it doesn't look good. The onions are nice and clear. There's a big piece of garlic, and that's from me not slicing it up enough. Let's mash him down a little bit. Oh, that'll be okay. Somebody's going to get a nice bite of garlic there. Okay, and then in goes this stuff, the panna di cucina. Look at this. Watch this stuff come out. It's in a little carton, right? And you can't get this everywhere. This is a pretty Italian thing. And I don't know what the right way to get it out of here is. Probably could scoop it out better, but I'm just squishing it out, and there's going to be some waste here. Let's get that in there. And as I said, this time I'm going to cook it a little bit differently, and also use a little bit of milk to thin that. Now, normally what you do is this. You take this pane di cucina and you stir it in there. Now, nutmeg is another controversy we had here. Not as much of a controversy as the onions, but you can put a little bit of nutmeg in here right now and cook it. And that's an option, the nutmeg. Normally it's just the sausage, the garlic, and the panna di cucina. That is the basic classic sauce. These other additions come from various Umbrians who have their own style. Now, so I'm going to put in a little bit of milk. Okay. And I'm just looking at this to see how thin it gets. And the only reason for that little bit of milk is to give it some more time for the panna di cucina and all the flavors in there to mix together. Pretty soon here, I'm going to put in just a touch of oh, come on here, flip open. I'm going to put a little bit in. The one person said, yeah, it's okay to put a little bit of this nocia moscata. This is nutmeg. Put a little bit in here. And the other person said, serve it on top. No, you put it in there, but serve it on top. And, oh, I think it's going to be fine. Like this. Because I think this is what Sorrow's wife did. Rosella. So that's not very much, really. It might look like I shook a lot in there, but there's not really much there. I want to stir that in because that's got to get... That's part of the reason for using a little bit of milk, was to give this a couple minutes to sort of cook into the sauce, which is going to be a little bit different than if you shook it a little bit on top. But that is a good sauce, I'm telling you. Okay. Let's turn off the camera and let that cook down a little bit. Where's our heat? Nice and low. Okay. So when that starts to bubble, in other words, these milk products have come up to temperature, you let that bubble a little bit and sort of let the milk cook down a touch. And that's going to give that nutmeg a little bit of a chance to dissolve in there and work its flavors around. And the onion and the oil and the garlic and the sausage, just to get everything all nice and friendly in there. Okay, so the pasta's cooking here, and can't recommend these tweezers enough for dealing with pasta. Kind of handy. And things are bubbling along pretty nicely here. I'm going to turn the heat off on this for the time being, on the sauce. And go over the pasta, and I have looked over here. I can't. Oh wait, there it is. 13 minutes. Huh. Could have made that a little bit bigger. So let's see. When did I put that in? Quarter. Okay, so I've got about 10 minutes more to go on this pasta. You might notice I'm trying a different pasta this time. Di Vella. I have not seen this at the store. This I got at the butcher shop. Not even at the alimentari on the school up on the hill here. The alimentaries are the small shops like you used to see all through Pittsburgh with all kinds of Italian things that in our youth we had no understanding of at all. But the old people in the neighborhood knew. And they're nice. They usually carry the better products because, it's a small grocery store and they don't have room to carry everything in the world. They do charge a little bit more for things, so they tend to carry good stuff. But the butcher shop is in a different class. They have to have, those folks want the best. So, and I asked a fellow up on the hill here, I told him I needed pasta, I need penny pasta, and he said, well, you can get it there at the alimentari. They'll be closed a couple minutes, but you're good. Or you can go over to the butcher shop, they got pasta, which I had seen in there. And I said, well, where would you get it? And he said, oh, over to the butcher shop. This is all in broken Italian, of course, on my end. But, so I got it at the butcher shop, and this is a new pasta. It's got these little ridges on the edges, which are to help absorb the sauce. But penne pasta is the pasta you cook with the norcia. So, don't ask me why. These folks have worked these things out for hundreds of years. Certain pastas are used for certain dishes. And they have done countless experiments and had countless arguments to come up with the best solutions. And it is my job to learn, not to question too much. So, I know this is too early, but I'm going to try it anyway. See how handy that is? You can grab a single piece of pasta or a single piece of macaroni or whatever and taste it. And we've got some time here to go. Yep, I'm going to say about 5 minutes. Okay, that pasta is just right. It's a little bit beyond al dente. What they recommend on the package, the time is al dente. But I'm going to drain this now, and then we're going to add it. Okay, it's time for that moment. I put 250 grams of pasta into this sauce. And I should have paused there so you could notice how nice and meaty that sauce was. It will more than give bolognese sauce a run for its money in terms of meat content. And I like the idea of putting in more onion, which I did this time, in order to, up the vegetable content a little bit. So the sauce is still hot. I had the heat off because I didn't put my pasta in quite soon enough. And this pasta has really plumped up. So that's going to hold a lot of sauce. Okay. And this is it. You stir it in, and no cheese necessary. I don't think it's even appropriate or customary, put it that way. It's not customary to serve cheese on this sauce because you've already got so much milk and dairy in there that maybe that's the reason. I don't know what the real reason is, but this is tough to flip here. Okay, here we go. Get it turned around in there a little bit, and man, that is ready to go. Okay, and not to it's nice when you get to the point where you can make something and know it's going to be good. A friend of mine from State College, Miguel, he's a good cook, like totally different league of strange, weird, good stuff. But he said, you don't have to be a good cook. All you have to do is know how to make a couple of things really well. I will forever be in debt to Rosella for serving this up, because this is an unbelievably good pasta. Yep, I should be having some veggies, more veggies with this. But the extra onions were not a problem. Man, this is good. Okay, note to self, not to put this pasta down. It's fantastic, but I missed an opportunity here to take something to the next level. See those big holes in this pasta? This is the mezzo number, what was it, 42 or something? I can't remember. Which cooked up nice and plump. But if I had put a little bit more milk in the sauce so that it was runnier, at its runny stage, right after you add the milk in the pane di cucina, then put the pasta in the sauce to allow the sauce to penetrate more into the interior of this pasta. I don't think it would have tasted any differently, really. So what's the point? Having second thoughts. That might have been a good idea to get more pasta into the interior, or sauce into the interior of the pasta, but certainly not necessary. I don't know. Let's file that away for later.